Good morning.
Good morning.
To all of you joining us here in the chapel and on YouTube. I'm Jean Weigant, your worship leader for today, and our speakers are the Eastrose Speech Choir led by Char. We're especially glad to have those of you who may be with us for the first time and hope to see you again soon. I'd like to remind you to please silence anything that makes noise. We acknowledge that Eastrose Fellowship sits on the occupied territory of the Clackamas Chinook people who were forcibly displaced from this land to the Grand Ronde Reservation in 1855. We acknowledge the sacrifices endured by the ancestors of this land, and that our presence here today is possible only because of the injustices committed against them. We recognize the inherent sovereignty of the Chinook nations and Confederated Tribes of Grand Ronde, who carry on the traditions, history, and legacy held by their ancestors from time immemorial to this day. We seek meaningful relationships with these communities that foster repair. Let's take a moment now to greet each other here today, both in the chapel and online. If you would please stand and face the cameras in the back of the room by the clock and wave hello to our friends, and then turn and greet your neighbor and say hello. Oh, I hate to interrupt that, but there will be time after the service for coffee, more visiting, and our potluck. I'll say more about that later. For our online guests, if you would like to share a joy or sorrow during that part of our service, you can do so by entering it on the YouTube chat, and those will be shared aloud with everyone. I also encourage you to identify yourselves in the chat so we may better acknowledge your presence here with us today. In today's service, the speech choir will share the works of poet Mary Oliver, who asks us, "Tell me, what is it you plan to do with your one wild and precious life?" As we listen to the prelude, let's consider her question. Yay, Mary! And we will now light our chalice. Mary, you're going to be our chalice lighter today. And as Mary lights the chalice, for this 1 hour, may we let go of our anxieties, our fears, our anger, our self-doubts, our regrets, our petty grievances, and our distractions. If only for this 1 hour, let the flame of this chalice burn them from our hearts and minds and light our way to peace and serenity for this one holy hour. And each week until Christmas, we light a new candle on the Advent wreath. The circle of greenery reminds us of the eternal circle of all life, without beginning or end. The candles remind us that we are each called to emit our glow amid the pain and suffering facing our world. The light of Advent grows brighter and brighter, guiding us toward personal peace, shared joy, and more love. On this second Sunday of Advent, we light the first candle for hope, and the second candle as a symbol of our longing for peace. We bring our hope into the world when we practice peacemaking. Our opening hymn today is "Morning Has Broken." Please rise as you are willing and able in body and spirit. It's number 38 in the gray hymnal, and the words will be on the screen.
Blackbird has spoken,
On the first Sunday of each month, we sing happy birthday to all those celebrating their birthdays in that month. If you have a birthday in December, would you please raise your hand so that we can sing to you? Thank you. Okay. The words are at the back of your gray hymnals and also on the screen. The tune is the Merry Widow Waltz, if you're old enough to remember that song. Let's sing happy birthday. Happy birthday, happy birthday, we love you. Happy birthday, and may all your dreams come true. When you blow out the candles, one light stays aglow. It's the love light in your eyes where you And now it is time for all ages, time for Tara and the children to come forward for a story that we can all enjoy. Kids, it's kind of crowded here, so I'd like to come sit over here if you can. And I'm going to slide this out of the way. If you can squeeze in there, maybe them down the aisle. Come on over here because she's going to be up here in this chair and you're going to want to see her. It's a little bit.
I'm gonna squeeze past you guys
A little bit
here.
cozier than normal today.
Thank you.
There you go.
All right. Good morning. Welcome. Mary Oliver was an American poet who wrote beautiful poems about nature, things like trees, birds, rivers, and animals. She spent a lot of time walking outside, noticing the small, wonderful things in the world around her, then wrote poems to help other people see and appreciate them too. Her poems reflect many of our shared values and principles. They celebrate the interconnected web of all life, encourage us to find meaning and wonder in the natural world, and ask important questions about how to live with kindness and purpose. This is a story about her life. It's called Woods and Words, the story of poet Mary Oliver, by Sarah Molly Ackerman and illustrated by Naoko Stoop. Mary crouched in the hut she had stitched of grass and sticks, noticing. Bird song, velvet leaves, a glittering beam of light. There were treasures all around if you paid attention. When the classroom walls wrapped her too tightly, Mary traded them for the mossy edge of a creek, and the woods became her school. Sitting in clusters of coltsfoot and violets, alone except for the poets she had tucked in her knapsack, Mary wrote. She filled stacks of notebooks and wore pencils down to splinters. In spring, winged maple seeds spun off their branches, whirling through the wide, still sky. Mary whirled off too, zipping over pavement and bumping along dirt roads to an old farmhouse where a poet once lived. She wrapped herself in woods and words. What more could she ask for? And then, a regular day, just a visitor at the kitchen table, but Mary saw it, love. It took Molly longer, but eventually she saw it too. They captured their world, Molly with her camera and Mary with her pencil. Click, clack, flash, scritch, scratch, slash. They settled in Provincetown, a speck on the map where land ended and the sea began. Mary walked the woods searching for poems. There were always poems if you paid attention. She found one burrowing under a damp, mysterious layer of leaves. Mary scooped up another poem as it flashed by on the backs of two black snakes. She smelled poems too. Sweet or rotten, there they were. Poems were easier to catch with the right tools. A notebook that fit in her pocket and pencils she kept tucked in the trees. Mary gathered words as she walked, along with clams in the sand flats and fat, shiny mushrooms. For poems, yes, but also because she was hungry and she saw how the woods were full of supper to bring back to the beach house she and Molly called home. When money was scarce, Mary worked at a printing company. Leftover paper scraps were destined for the dustbin until she noticed they were just right for scribbling long, skinny poems. Some of her poems appeared in magazines. Others were bound and sold in the bookshop Molly opened. And then on a regular day, with a sink full of suds and dishes to wash, ring, 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 Mary had won a poetry prize, the biggest poetry prize. She nestled the telephone back in its cradle and went to the dump. Prize or no prize, her roof needed shingles. Some critics sneered at Mary's poems. One editor would print Mary's poem only if she took the word beautiful out. But Mary thought that snow and silence, the blinking eyes of a black bear, and even a cob of corn were beautiful. So she told the truth, even if it meant a man wouldn't put her poem in a magazine. Some people thought poetry had to be fancy, but Mary believed poems were for everyone, best served plain. So she wrote what she liked, and readers tucked her words in their knapsacks and loved them. When a muskrat bit her thumb, she turned him into a poem. The grasshopper who arrived at her plate to lap up birthday cake frosting became a poem too. And year after year, her dogs barked and bounded across the page. That's just how Mary lived, in a home she built of woods and words, discovering what else and where else a poem could be. We are so lucky that Mary Oliver shared her noticings and insights in beautiful poems meant for all of us. The adults are going to continue to spend time with Mary while we head back to our classroom. Thank you, and if the adults along the center aisle will form a bridge, we'll sing the children out.
Kids, wait until they start to sing.
Yes.
We want to sing you.
Wait for the music.
And now I invite you into a quiet time in the service. If you are comfortable, close your eyes, place your feet on the floor, uncross your arms, drop your shoulders, inhale, and take a very big exhale. Then begin your intentional breathing. 4 beats in slowly through your nose, 5 or 6 beats out through your mouth in a steady rhythm, creating peace and spaciousness as you move from the crown of your head to the soles of your feet, grounded on the earth. Complete another round or two of breathing, and then slowly come back to this space. Please remain seated and sing our spirit song, which is Gathering Song, written by Mary Reese. The words will be on the screen, and Mary will play it all the way through first. Gathering in peace, we're going to take a moment for the speech choir to get up here and get settled for their presentation to us. The poet Mary Oliver was born in 1935 and grew up in a small town in Ohio. We were fortunate to hear some about her in the children's story today. She won the Pulitzer Prize and the National Book Award, among her many honors, and published numerous collections of poetry and prose. She lived and wrote for 5 decades on Cape Cod. In her later years, she spoke openly about profound abuse she had suffered as a child. She wrote in her essay, Staying Alive,
"Adults can change their circumstances. Children cannot. Children are powerless, and in difficult situations, they are the victims of every sorrow and mischance and rage around them. For children feel all these things, but without any of the ability that adults have to change them. Whatever can take a child beyond such circumstances is an alleviation and a blessing. I quickly found for myself 2 such blessings, the natural world and the world of writing. These were the gates through which I vanished from a difficult place. I escaped it barely with years of trouble, but I got saved by poetry, and I got saved by the beauty of the world. I made a world out of words. I could build a world I could live in."
The first poem, Rage, by Mary Oliver, gives voice to a child sex abuse victim. Consequently, it is a difficult poem to hear, but a necessary poem because breaking the silence surrounding these crimes is the first step towards stopping them and the first step toward propelling the child from victim to survivor.
Rage, by Mary Oliver.
You are the dark song of the morning, serious and slow.
You shave, you dress, you descend the stairs in your public clothes and drive away.
You become the wise and powerful one who makes all the days possible in the world.
But you are also the red song in the night, stumbling through the house to the child's bed, to the damp rose of her body, leaving your bitter taste.
And forever those nights snarl the delicate machinery of the days.
When the child's mother smiles, you see on her cheekbones a truth you will never confess.
And you see how the child grows, timidly, crouching in corners.
Sometimes in the wide night, you hear the most mournful cry, a ravaged and terrible moment.
In your dreams, she's a tree that will never come to leaf.
In your dreams, she's a watch you dropped on the dark stones till no one could gather the fragments. In your dreams, you have sullied and murdered, and dreams do not lie.
The Journey by Mary Oliver.
One day you finally knew what you had to do and began, though the voices around you kept shouting their bad advice.
Though the whole house began to tremble and you felt the old tug at your ankles.
Mend my life.
Mend my life.
Mend my life.
Each voice cried, but you didn't stop.
You knew what you had to do, though the wind pried with its stiff fingers at the very foundations, though their melancholy was terrible.
It was already late enough, and a wild night, and the road full of fallen branches and stones.
But little by little, as you left their voices behind, the stars began to burn through the sheets of clouds.
And there was a new voice, which you slowly recognized as your own.
That kept you company as you strode deeper and deeper into the world.
Determined to do the only thing you could do.
Determined to save the only life you could save.
Crossing the Swamp by Mary Oliver.
Here is the endless, wet, thick cosmos, the center of everything, the nugget.
Of dense sap, branching vines, the dark bird faintly belching bogs. Here is swamp. Here is struggle, closure, pathless, seamless.
Peerless mud, my bones knocked together at the pale joints, trying for foothold, fingerhold.
Mind hold over such slick crossings, deep hip holes, hummocks that sink silently into the black, slack earth soup. I feel not wet so much as painted and glittered.
With the fat, grassy mires, the rich and succulent marrows of earth, a poor, dry stick given one more chance by the whims of swamp water, a bow.
That still, after all these years, could take root, sprout, branch out, bud, make of its life a breathing palace of leaves. Wild Geese by Mary Oliver.
You do not have to be good.
You
do not have to walk on your knees for 100 miles
through the desert, repenting.
You only have to let the soft animal of your body love what it loves.
Tell me about despair, yours, and I will tell you mine.
Meanwhile, the world goes on.
Meanwhile, the sun and the clear pebbles of the rain are moving across the landscapes, over the prairies and the deep trees, the mountains and the rivers.
Meanwhile, the wild geese, high in the clean blue air, are heading home again.
Whoever you are, no matter how lonely, the world offers itself to your imagination, calls to you like the wild geese, harsh and excited, over and over, announcing your place in the family of things.
For more than 40 years, Mary Oliver lived on Cape Cod with the love of her life, the photographer Molly Malone Cook, one of the first staff photographers for the Village Voice. In Our World, a book of essays Mary Oliver wrote after Molly Cook's death, Mary reflects on how Molly, whom she refers to as M, shaped Mary's way of seeing and being in the world by demonstrating focused attention and empathy.
It has frequently been remarked about my own writings that I emphasize the notion of attention. This began simply enough to see that the way a flicker flies is greatly different from the way the swallow plays in the golden air of summer. It was my pleasure to notice such things. It was a good first step. But later, watching Em when she was taking photographs, and watching her in the dark room, and no less watching the intensity and openness with which she dealt with friends and strangers too, taught me what real attention is about. Attention without feeling, I began to learn, is only a report. And openness and empathy was necessary if the attention was to matter. Em instilled in me this deeper level of looking and working, of seeing through the heavenly visibles to the heavenly invisibles. The Summer Day by Mary Oliver.
Who made the world? Who made the swan and the black bear? Who made the grasshopper?
This grasshopper, I mean, the one who has flown herself out of the grass, the one who is eating sugar out of my hand.
Who is moving her jaws back and forth instead of up and down, who is gazing around with her enormous and complicated eyes.
Now she lifts her pale forearms and thoroughly washes her face. Now she snaps her wings open and floats away.
I don't know exactly what a prayer is. I do know how to pay attention, how to fall down into the grass, how to kneel down in the grass.
How to be idle and blessed, how to stroll through the fields, which is what I have been doing all day.
Tell me, what else should I have done? Doesn't everything die at last and too soon?
Tell me, what is it you plan to do with your one wild and precious life?
The Swan by Mary Oliver.
Did you too see it, drifting all night on the Black River? Did you see it in the morning, rising into the silvery air?
An armful of white blossoms, a perfect commotion of silk and linen as it leaned into the bondage of its wings. A snowbank, a bank of lilies, biting the air with its black beak.
Did you hear it, fluting and whistling, a shrill, dark music, like the rain pelting the trees, like the waterfall knifing down the black ledges?
And did you see it finally just under the clouds, a white cross streaming across the sky, its feet like black leaves, its wings like the stretching light of the river?
And did you feel it in your heart, how it pertained to everything? And have you too finally figured out what beauty is for? And have you changed your life? Crane by Mary Oliver.
It doesn't have to be the blue iris.
It could be weeds in a vacant lot.
Or a few small stones.
Just pay attention, then patch a few words together.
And don't try to make them elaborate. This isn't a contest, but the doorway into thanks.
And a silence in which another voice may speak.
There is an Hasidic tale about empathy in which a disciple asks the rabbi, "Why does Torah tell us to place these words upon your hearts? Why does it not tell us to place these holy words in our hearts?" The rabbi answers,
It is because as we are, our hearts are closed and we cannot place the holy words in our hearts. So we place them on top of our hearts, and there they stay until one day the heart breaks and the words fall in.
Led by Mary Oliver.
Here is a story to break your heart. Are you willing?
This winter, the loons came to our harbor and died, one by one, of nothing we could see.
A friend told me of one on the shore that lifted its head and opened the elegant beak and cried out.
In the long, sweet savoring of its life, which, if you have heard it, you know is a sacred thing, and for which, if you have not heard it, you had better hurry to where they still sing.
And believe me, tell no one just where that is.
The next morning, this loon, speckled and iridescent, and with a plan to fly home to some hidden lake, was dead on the shore.
I tell you this to break your heart, by which I mean only that it break open and never close again to the rest of the world.
Mary Oliver understood that the world is full of mysteries requiring our attention, mysteries that can never be fully understood, especially the soul of another person. As she stated about her life partner, M,
Though you have known someone for more than 40 years, though you have worked with them and lived with them, you do not know everything. The Whistler by Mary Oliver.
All of a sudden, she began to whistle. By all of a sudden, I mean that for more than 30 years she had not whistled. It was thrilling. At first, I wondered who was in the house. What stranger? I was upstairs reading, and she was downstairs. As from the throat of a wild and cheerful bird, not caught but visiting, the sounds warbled and slid and doubled back and larked and soared. Finally, I said, "Is that you? Is that you whistling?"
Yes, I used to whistle a long time ago. Now I see I can still whistle.
And cadence after cadence, she strolled through the house whistling. I know her so well, I thought. Elbow and ankle, mood and desire, anguish and frolic, anger too, and the devotions. And for all that, do we even begin to know each other? Who is this I've been living with for 30 years? This clear, dark, lovely whistler.
Mary Oliver desired to share her poems with everyone, not just self-identified lovers of poetry. She sought accessibility. As she expressed when introducing her poem, The Sun,
I tried to think of how I could construct a poem so that if a person opened a magazine, not a poetry magazine, but the general magazine, and found a poem, they would read it and stick with it. In other words, not the pre-converted person that was looking for a poem, but the person looking for a nice scientific article that came across the poem. How could I keep them there? This is actually the genesis of many of the poems in my earlier books that are fast and run down the page and have a lot of visual pictures in them. I also decided that anybody who starts a sentence is probably going to have the curiosity to finish that sentence. And yes, you could stretch a sentence to 36 lines. The Sun by Mary Oliver.
Have you ever seen anything in your life more wonderful?
Then the way the sun every evening, relaxed and easy, floats toward the horizon.
And into the clouds, or the hills, or the rumpled sea, and is gone, and how it slides again.
Out of the blackness every morning, on the other side of the world, like a red flower.
Streaming upward on its heavenly oils, say on a morning in early summer, at its perfect imperial distance. And have you ever felt for anything such wild love? Do you think there is anywhere, in any language, a word billowing enough for the pleasure?
That fills you as the sun reaches out as it warms you.
As you stand there empty-handed, or have you too turned from this world?
Or have you too gone crazy for power, for things?
a great dog lover, Mary Oliver celebrated the human-canine bond. In an essay from her book Dog Songs, she wrote,
Because of the dog's joyfulness, our own is increased. It is no small gift. It is not the least reason why we should honor, as well as love, the dog of our own life, and the dog down the street, and all the dogs not yet born. What would the world be like without music or rivers or the green and tender grass? What would this world be like without dogs? Little Dog's Rhapsody in the Night by Mary Oliver.
He puts his cheek against mine and makes small expressive sounds. And when I'm awake or awake enough,
He turns upside down, his forepaws in the air and his eyes dark and fervent.
Tell me you love me.
He says,
Tell me again.
Could there be a sweeter arrangement?
Over and over he gets to ask, I get to tell.
The Sweetness of Dogs by Mary Oliver.
What do you say, Percy? I am thinking of sitting out on the sand to watch the moon rise. It's full tonight, so we go.
and the moon rises, so beautiful it makes me shudder, makes me think about time and space, makes me take measure of myself, one iota pondering heaven. Thus we sit, myself,
Thinking how grateful I am for the moon's perfect beauty, and also how rich it is to love the world. Percy, meanwhile, leans against me and gazes up into my face as though I were just as wonderful as the perfect moon.
Mary Oliver thought of herself as a praise poet, stating,
I try to praise. If I have any lasting worth, it will be because I have tried to make people remember what the earth is meant to look like. Maybe the desire to make something beautiful is the peace of God that is inside each of us. The Fourth Sign of the Zodiac by Mary Oliver. In this poem, Mary references the poet John Keats, who died of tuberculosis at the age of 25. I know you never intended to be in this world, but you're in it all the same. So why not get started immediately?
I mean belonging to it. There's so much to admire, to weep over, and to write music or poems about.
Bless the feet that take you to and fro. Bless the eyes and the listening ears. Bless the tongue, the marvel of taste. Bless touching.
You could live 100 years. It's happened. Or not.
I am speaking from the fortunate platform of many years, none of which I think I ever wasted.
Do you need a prod? Do you need a little darkness to get you going?
Let me be urgent as a knife then, and remind you of Keats, so single of purpose, and thinking for a while he had a lifetime.
When I Am Among the Trees by Mary Oliver.
When I am among the trees, especially the willows and the honey locust, equally the beech, the oaks and the pines, they give off such hints of gladness.
I would almost say that they save me, and daily.
I am so distant from the hope of myself, in which I have goodness and discernment, and never hurry through the world, but walk slowly and bow often.
Around me the trees stir in their leaves and call out.
Stay a while.
The light flows from their branches, and they call again.
It's simple.
They say,
And you too have come into the world to do this, to go easy, to be filled with light and to shine.
The Gift by Mary Oliver.
I wanted to thank the mockingbird for the vigor of his song.
Every day he sang from the rim of the field while I picked blueberries or just idled in the sun.
Every day he came fluttering by to show me, and why not, the white blossoms in his wings.
So one day, I went there with a machine and played some songs of Mahler.
The mockingbird stopped singing. He came close and seemed to listen.
Now when I go down to the field, a little Mahler spills through the sputters of his song.
How happy I am, lounging in the light, listening as the music floats by.
And I give thanks also for my mind that thought of giving a gift. And mostly I am grateful that I take this world so seriously.
In Praise of Craziness of a Certain Kind by Mary Oliver.
On cold evenings, my grandmother, with ownership of half her mind, the other half having flown back to Bohemia,
spread newspapers over the porch floor so, she said, the garden ants could crawl beneath as under a blanket and keep warm.
And what shall I wish for myself, but being so struck by the lightning of years, to be like her with what is left, that loving.
Words have the power to transform. And in the case of a 16-year-old Aiden Kingwell of Oak Park, Illinois, they even have the power to save lives. Struggling with crippling depression, Kingwell read poet Mary Oliver's When Death Comes, and came to realize that her life was worth living, even at a time when she doubted it the most. Kingwell detailed her experience with the poem in her entry for the Library of Congress's 2015 Letters About Literature contest, an annual nationwide competition that encourages middle and high school students to write letters to authors who have influenced them. Kingwell wrote, in part,
Dear Mary, I was 13 the first time I read your poem, and at that time of my life, there was a good chance that I would not see my 14th birthday. I had been depressed since age 10. My mind was very dark. I was suicidal. Then one day, in my 7th grade English class, I was presented with your poem. Within it, I found new life. My mind opened up as I read your words. The way you spoke, Mary, the way you talked about death and how it sought to take all the bright coins from your purse, how it was an iceberg between your shoulder blades, leaching the warm life out of your form. I could tell you knew. You knew what it felt like to be owned by death's shadow in the same way that I was then. When you spoke of not wanting to have simply visited this world, my own world turned upside down. I began to think how horrible it would be to have only been a visitor in the way that you said, to not have made my mark on the world, to have only passed through with no real substance. So thank you, Mary. Thank you for showing me that the burden of my soul was not so dark, that there was still hope left in me.
When Death Comes by Mary Oliver.
When death comes like the hungry bear in autumn, when death comes and takes all the bright coins from his purse, to buy me and snaps the purse shut, when death comes like the measles pox,
When death comes like an iceberg between the shoulder blades.
I want to step through the door full of curiosity, wondering what is it going to be like, that cottage of darkness.
And therefore I look up upon everything as a brotherhood and a sisterhood. And I look upon time as no more than an idea, and I consider eternity as another possibility.
and I think of each life as a flower, as common as a field daisy, and as singular. And each name a comfortable music in the mouth, tending, as all music does, towards silence. And each body a lion of courage and something precious to the earth.
When it's over, I want to say, all my life I was a bride married to amazement. I was the bridegroom taking the world into my arms.
When it's over, I don't want to wonder if I have made of my life something particular and real. I don't want to find myself sighing and frightened or full of argument.
I don't want to end up simply having visited this world.
Before her death in 2019, Mary Oliver left instructions for living a life.
Pay
attention.
Be astonished. Tell about it.
Washington Post writer Maggie Smith marked Mary Oliver's passing by answering the question, what did Mary Oliver do with her one wild and precious life?
She survived a difficult childhood.
She loved a woman for 40 years.
She wrote poems that would stand the test of time.
She touched us.
Thank you. Our closing hymn, and we will sing all 3 verses. Yeah, plenty of time. We were concerned because it's hard to time something like this, a presentation, and we've done well, and it was beautiful. We weren't just going for speed when we... Anyhow, our closing hymn is number 311 in the gray hymn note, Let It Be a Dance, and the words will be on the screen. Please rise as you are willing and able. I didn't mean to imply that we needed to cut or lengthen their time. It was that I needed to make sure I adjusted the rest of the service so we could thoroughly enjoy their offering to us. We share half of the money collected each week with a local organization doing good works in the community. Snowcap Community Charities is our Sharing the Bounty partner from September through February. Eastrose has a long-established relationship with Snowcap. We are one of 25 local churches that founded Snowcap in 1967 to address the needs of East Multnomah County residents. Snowcap helps with food, clothing, personal items, and personal care items and needs for infants. We look to deepen our partnership with Snowcap over the next months. If you are attending online, you may donate by visiting our website and clicking the donate button, or you may scan the QR code on the screen. If you are here for the first time, we invite you to let the basket pass and truly be our guest. The gifts of the congregation will now be most gratefully received received and collected today by two of our returning travelers. Please remain seated and sing our song of gratitude. It's 10:10 in the teal hymnal. We give thanks. The words are on the screen. Isn't it wonderful to hear the sounds of joy? We extinguish our chalice to remind us love is the center. As we explore and rest, engage and heal, love remains the center. When all we can see is cold ashes, love remains. We have some announcements. First of all, I would like to remind you in the future, for those of you who don't remember, out on the table in the lobby, narthex, there are forms that say announcements. And if you have an announcement you'd like made at the end of the service, please fill one of those out. You can leave it up here on the podium, or you can give it to the worship leader for that Sunday. It does save a little time from having everybody individually come up. First of all, I would like to thank everybody who contributed to today's service, and particularly our speech choir. Can we appreciate them again? Today is Potluck Sunday, and everybody is invited to join us for potluck in the Thatcher Room at the end of the hall. If you didn't bring anything, join us anyway. There's always plenty of food. And I have one announcement from Georgianne. After the Sunday services, not today, if there isn't something else going on, those of us who want to make PIRC, and Georgianne, is that how you say it? Not just perk, but PIRC?
That's a good question.
Okay.
Call it perk.
Perk bracelets. We'll meet in the Thatcher Room. And do you want to show them what the bracelets are? You can.
Their phone numbers. Perk is, if you notice some activity with ICE and you're concerned, call this to help protect immigrants who are being harassed. So there's a phone number on it, Perk, and it's just easy to wear. And give away.
Thank you, Georgianne. And my apologies for those online. I forgot to ask her to speak into the microphone for the details. But we'll let that be my mistake. And oh, Keen, did you have an announcement? Okay.
First of all, I cannot remember to fill out the form.
Here.
Thank you. Just a reminder that this coming Friday is Snowcap Volunteer Day, 3 to 5 at Snowcap, and anybody that wishes to come and help out. We had a record-breaking number this last time, and we hope to keep a good number both coming into Christmas and into the new year. So.
Thank you, Keen. Oh, Rolf, you wanted to make an announcement also?
Well, I'm all dressed up, which is a rare event. For my wife's and the Mid-Columbia, Mount Hood Community Orchestra is playing at 3:30 at the college in their auditorium. Please come if you have a afternoon you want to spend listening to some music. And several other members here are going to help with some seating. So I'm grateful for that. So this afternoon at Mount Hood at 3:30.
Mount Hood Community College, 3:30. Thank you, Rolf. Are there any other announcements? Okay, let's read together our unison benediction to end our service. The words are on the screen. Go out into the world in peace. Have courage. Hold on to what is good. Return to no person evil for evil. Strengthen the faint-hearted. Support the weak. Help the suffering. Honor all beings. Our service has ended. It's now time for our monthly potluck, coffee, and conversation in the Thatcher Room. Go in peace.